What's up, you guys? Jason Wardrop here, and in today's video I'm going to cover a really important, really hot topic. I get asked this question a lot, but is when do I kill my Facebook ads? When do I shut them off? Right? So if like you're running a campaign and your lead cost is, let's say, $8. Okay, you're getting $8 per lead and it creeps up to $10. Like, do you actually shut that off? Or let's say it's just staying at $8 per lead, but you've run it for 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. When is the best time to go through and actually shut that campaign off? Okay, now we're gonna actually dive into some of the numbers here because it really is just simple mathematics, and really knowing when to go through and cancel your campaign or not, it comes down to the data. For example, like when I am running my business, okay, I know some of the numbers and I keep track of the numbers. So that's one thing. Like, if you're not keeping track of your numbers, you need a simple process, and it really is not that difficult, especially with Facebook ads. They pretty much give you all the data that you need to be able to go through and track what your cost per lead is, what you're willing to pay for each lead, and how much you make after generating so many leads. So we're gonna break that down all here. But like for my business, I go through and we're selling our software, right? And I sell for $1,500 on our webinar. And so typically on average, I generate leads for my webinar for about $8 per lead. Sometimes it goes down to 4 or 5, maybe $6, but then it will sometimes creep up to 10 to 12 or something like that. And obviously, like anything higher than that, like I know even if I'm paying like $20 per lead, I know I'm still profitable. Okay, but knowing that I can generate leads for $8 or even $10 per lead, I'm not willing to pay that higher price per lead because I know I can generate leads for a lot lower. So let's just jump in and look at this for your business. Okay, so let's say your cost per lead is 10 bucks. All right, and let's say you're generating 100 leads. Now guys, this is really important. A lot of people will go through and they'll run their Facebook ads and they'll generate 20 leads, and they'll be like, oh well, I like Facebook ads doesn't work, or I don't know, this is probably not for me. The truth is you probably don't have enough data to actually know if Facebook ads is going to work for you or not, right? So like when you look at statistics and you get into like all that smart people stuff, like it talks about the law of large numbers, right? And if you have too small of a data set, you're not really gonna know what your conversion rate is, right? So like if you generate 100 leads and your conversion rate is 1%, well, if you generated 10 leads or even 20 or even 30 leads and your conversion rate on those leads is 1%, you're really not gonna know if like it's gonna work out for you. Okay, so like I like to go through and start out with a minimum of 100 leads, and let's say our cost per lead is 10 bucks. So our total lead cost is $1,000. Okay, and let's say there's a few things that we need to look at here. Okay, so we need to look at the lifetime value of those leads and our immediate conversion rate versus even a longer term conversion rate. So let's say over the first 30 days here, we've got a 1% conversion rate. Okay, so what that means is we generate 100 leads, and of those 100 leads we get one sale, or we get one deal to go through. Okay, and let's just say you're in real estate, because most of my followers are in real estate, the real estate agents. Let's say you make $5,000 for every home you sell or home you list or whatever is going on, or home that's like bought through you. So you make $5,000, which honestly in real estate, that's a pretty low-end commission. Like I know on average, like the agents I'm working with are making anywhere between $5,000 to $15,000 in commission per closed transaction, because typically you make 3% of the sale price, right? So obviously if you're selling $1 million home, you could potentially make $30,000 on just that one home. Okay, so conversion rate in the first 30 days, you're at $5,000, which total profit, if you're spending $10 per lead and your total lead cost after 100 leads is $1,000, your total profit is $4,000, because obviously you made $5,000, but you got the cost of doing business and all that good stuff. Now if you look at this, okay, so you went through and you made $5,000. Well, you profited $4,000, you spent $1,000. Technically, you should be willing to go up and spend as much as $50 per lead to acquire these 100 leads, which would be a total lead cost of $5,000 to get a 1% conversion rate in just the first 30 days. Now, I know before you guys like freak out and be like, well, Jason, I'm not making any money then. Well, what happens is at this point, you broke even. Okay, so you went through, you had the $5,000 lead cost, you have the 1% conversion, which total profit after 30 days is $0. And I get that, but for basically free, you just acquired 99 other leads of people that you can go through and work with. All right, now if we come down here, if we look at the lifetime value over a 90-day period, okay, and guys, like I had someone ask me, I did a video similar to this. Someone asked me last time, like, well, Jason, what is my conversion rate? That's going to be different for every single person. It really depends on how well you are, how good you are at following up, and how good you are with your sales techniques, and how good you are is just like doing business. Now, if you're not that good, if you're not having like a 1 to 3% conversion rate in the first 90 days with really any leads, you got to improve yourself. You got to go through, you attend more seminars, you got to read more books. You just got to improve and develop as a salesperson, right? So coming down here, we look at the lifetime value over 90 days. So let's say that 1% is now a 3%. Okay, so we went through and we broke even right here. Okay, so now we've got a 3%, which total lead cost, let's say it's still $10 per lead. Okay, it's $1,000. We get those 3 conversions at still $5,000 that we're making per conversion, which is $15,000, which now after 90 days we're profiting $14,000. Okay, so let's go back and let's say that our lead cost was actually $5,000 because we went through and we're now spending $50 per lead. Okay, so it's $5,000. So our total conversion, so after the first 30 days we're making 0 money, right? Which obviously it's not the goal, but if we can acquire more leads to work with in the future, that's ideal, right? So we make $5,000, or we spend $5,000 on the leads, we make $15,000, and after 90 days we're actually profiting $10,000. Right now, one last thing that I want to go through and cover with you guys, because obviously this is just in the first 90 days. Some of those leads in the next 6 months, they could still convert, which then from the $5,000 lead spend, if you're spending $50 per lead, you could actually see like a $30,000, $40,000 profit from those same leads. Okay, now if we come back up here, now if you guys remember, my average lead cost is about $8. Okay, and I am still profitable. Like if you're a real estate agent right here, I'm still profitable even if I'm spending like $20 to $25 per lead. Let's just say $20 per lead. But I know on average I generate leads for $8. Okay, so I know that like I don't have to spend more money on those more expensive leads, because it doesn't necessarily mean that they're better leads. Okay, especially when you're going through and working with Facebook. So what I do is anytime a lead, so like I'll go through, and if my cost per lead is 12 bucks, I'll usually let it run for a couple of days, and if it doesn't drop down to around the 10 mark, then I kill it, right? Just because I know like I don't have to spend that much money to go through and generate my leads. So I like to go through and have kind of like the high end is 10 bucks, and if it is at 12 bucks and it's a newer ad set, new ad campaign, I like to let it run a little bit to see if it's going to drop down, and if it doesn't drop down, then I kill it. Okay, so really guys, when it comes to really killing your Facebook ads and knowing when to kill them, it all comes down to understanding these numbers. And if you don't have enough data yet, get the data, spend the money to go through and get the data, and so you can know with like exactness what you're willing to pay for your leads, right? So if you're going through and you're averaging $10 per lead, I probably wouldn't go through if there's a campaign that's costing you more than $15 per lead, I would probably kill that, right? So like even though we went through this discussion where you can spend as much as $50 per lead right here, and you're making $5,000, or your cost is $5,000, you're making $5,000 back out, but you're profiting, you're breaking even. Like yes, that works theoretically. In 90 days you'll be making money, but I like to make money sooner, which I'm sure you guys are the same way. So if it's really higher than probably $15 per lead, I'm probably going to kill that, which if you look at that total lead cost is going to be $1,500, and then your profit after the first 35 days is going to be $3,500. Okay, but then afterwards, so you're going to profit $3,500, and then the next, let's say another 2% go through, or 3%, whatever it is, you're making an extra $10,000 from those same 100 leads. Okay, so that is kind of like looking at the numbers. Now as far as like a time frame goes, like a lot of times people are like, well, my ad's been running for 6 weeks, and like I don't know if do I just keep them running, or when do I kill them? The truth is, if you're still getting a pretty good cost per lead, if this hasn't hiked up like super high to like 20 bucks or anything like that, I would just keep running that ad campaign. The reason why is because if it's in the range of what you're willing to spend on Facebook ads to generate one new lead, And if that lead is in your market, it's in your community, like let's say you've got a local business, let's say you're a real estate agent, that's someone you could potentially work with in the future. Okay, so if you get them on your email list and you're sending them out emails, you're nurturing them, you're educating them, you're letting them know that you are the top person to work with in your area, or let's say you're even a restaurant or a local gym or whatever it is, you get that person in and you're nurturing them to the point that they actually convert into a sale. All right, so long story short, guys, one, you got to know your numbers. You got to know, like, what is your cost per lead and what is your conversion rate and how much do you make every single time a conversion or a sale or a deal goes through. And then break the numbers down as simple as this, guys. Look at your cost per lead. How much will it cost you to generate 100 leads? What's your conversion rate in the first 30 days? What's your conversion rate in the first 90 days? How much do you make per conversion? And what's your total profit after the first 30 days, knowing these numbers, and after the first 90 days? Okay, so now once you know that, you've got a pretty good idea of like, okay, what's my average lead cost? And I'm willing to go a little bit higher above my average lead cost, but not too much, because I know I just don't need to. And then as far as like a time frame, just go through and keep running that, keep generating leads, keep bringing in new business until that lead cost hikes up so far, or until everyone in that community, like if you got like a small 50,000 radius, maybe they've all seen that and they're just getting annoyed by it. So just freshen up the ad, just create a new ad, switch it up a little bit, and you are good to go. All right, so anyway, guys, hopefully that was helpful for you all on knowing when to actually go through and kill your Facebook ads. It all comes down to knowing your numbers. It comes down to knowing your audience and like how often they're seeing the ad. And with that said, guys, if you guys have any questions, drop a comment down below. And also, if you guys want my free Facebook ads mini course, I'll hook you guys up with that. Just drop a comment down below, give the thumbs up to the video. And also, if you guys are brand new here, make sure you guys subscribe, because we launch new videos every single week on how to generate more leads, make more money, and grow your business. So with that said, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all later.